Yo guys, sorry, you already know that today we are back playing some more Raging Loop on. The last time, we started to get a lot of information as we went back to one of the first loops that we were in. Actually, I think the first loop we were in, talking to Chiemi, and we found out that she has been remembering all the loops and has been through way many more loops than we have. And we're getting a lot of information out of this. Basically, any questions that we've had about events that have happened during some of the loops have essentially gotten answered. And now this is just about getting more and more information. And I have to tell you guys, I'm like absolutely hooked. I'm probably going to record a bunch of these back to back. There's a chance that I might just play like the rest of this game for as long as I have like the free time. So this is probably going to get recorded really far in advance. So if my voice is dying, it's because I can't stop playing this game, but I don't care. Because I need everything to wrap up. I need to know how everything goes. And yeah, so that's where I'm at. And let's go ahead and get into it. I forget exactly what we asked her, but she was hesitant to tell us something. But after a few seconds of hesitation, she finally gathered her resolve. So what's she going to tell us? She then put her hand inside the collar and took something out. A metal trinket on a metal chain, showing 3 symbols. I think we were talking about the gods and stuff. A whirl and a diamond. It was a sign of the Yomotsu Kami. I remember the time I picked it up in Saranaga after I'd won against Chiemi as a snake. So it belonged to her, huh? Okay, I actually don't really remember that all that well. This is... No, don't look! Serizawa-sama, I am so sorry. That is a corruption not even I can take in. Oh, okay, that does sound vaguely familiar. It came back to me. Rikako-san had discovered something pendant-like that Chiemi was wearing. After that, Chiemi went nuts and ran off into the mist. That meant that what I found in Saranaga on the other timeline had been dropped by her after she jumped off the cliff. And I finally realized another thing. Here, the talisman with the sign of the Yomotsu Kami, Yomi itself, was the worst of omens, and actually wearing it could have been a good thing. It could only represent the worst, most fearful and maddening of things. This is something I've been wearing since I was little. You know what this means, right? A whirl and a claw, the sign of the Yomotsu Kami, the lord of the corrupted hunting grounds. Why do you have that? Because I'm corrupted. Oh? My old name was Chiemi Migurama. Oh, or Miguruma. Oh, that's the other family that, like, hasn't come up literally this entire game. Like, in terms of we haven't had a person to match to that family. Miguruma. The tower lookouts, the top of the forehead families in Kanfujiyoshi, the snake. Chiemi Miguruma was the daughter of the snake. She didn't have any siblings, so she was supposed to become the wife of the man who'd be adopted and become the head of the family. At least until she was 5. Chiemi's eyes turned dry and empty. That day, I playfully opened the iron door to the basement of the 3rd lookout. I was told never to go there, and the door had that symbol on it. And... Calm down, Chiemi. You saw dogs, didn't you? She came back to her senses and light returned to her eyes. I knew it. I could see part of the conspiracy. The dogs bit you, right? Yeah. As it became harder for her to speak, she pulled up her sleeves and showed me her wrists. They were old but clearly visible scars on them. Anyone who takes in Yomi's corruption will eventually go mad and die. We Migurumas, had that drilled into our heads since we were little. Why did the Miguruma have them? Saranaga isn't the only entrance to Yomi. It has its mouth open in many places. The Uematsu family used to protect us against it, but they couldn't do it anymore, so... the Miguruma took it upon themselves? Chiemi nodded. A daughter who'd received Yomi's corruption wasn't suitable for the Miguruma. That's why, just like Mochi, I was disowned. Sorry, I've calmed down now. Don't force yourself. It's fine. I had my surname changed to that of a branch family and was sent to Yasumizu. Again, just like Mochi. So they changed surnames because of the disowning. Oribe was probably Kaori-san's maiden name, but yeah, I can see how they worked around this. No one seemed to know that you were a Miguruma, though. The Miguruma are a very secretive family. They hide any births and deaths in the family for about 10 years. You can't shut out gossip, can you? The Miguruma can. The people who do the reports and everyone at the funeral home are Miguruma. I see, but why are they so secretive? I left when I was little, so I can't be sure. But they probably think that secrets have power. Secrets, mysteries could mobilize people, huh? Intelligence management was extremely important when keeping a group in line. Especially for the Miguruma, who were doing something dangerous. This pendant is proof of the corruption. I'm corrupted, so I'm fated to become part of Yomi. But I was told that it would hold the corruption back and keep it under control until the time came. Yomotsu Kami were scary Yomibito, which I believe controlled other Yomibito, so I thought this would keep me, a corrupted Yomibito, from going wild. I was really scared of that happening. That was nothing more than her earnest beliefs. That was why I understood just how pure and profound her feelings were. She'd come to know immense despair at an extremely young age. So you went to Yasumizu, and then what? Well, I went nuts. I was young, but I knew that I was corrupted and sent to a corrupted place. Taiba-chan was my primary victim. She was the one in charge of the dining hall, and I always refused the food. Oh, so that was why they were still so distant. I entered elementary school as Serizawa, and I was the only student from Yasumizu back then. It was pretty hard. I was bullied, and if I fought back, they'd team up and make me out to be the bad guy. It kind of worked out because the teacher knew what was going on. But then the teacher transferred to another school. My situation got really bad. The Noribei-san and family moved in, then Yasukun, Haru-chan, and Yoshikun started going to school. I became the big sister character, so I had to do my best. And then, well, you know, you kicked the crap out of someone. I kicked the crap out of someone, haha. Well, I got chewed out and punched pretty harshly, and it might have made the situation even worse for Yasumizu. But all the bullying stopped, so I'm proud of what I did. I see. So that was why the children here adored her, but she felt awkward around the adults. This was a conscious sense of duty that made you do it? I was mostly just pissed. I don't mind, it's cool, it's cool. I was a pretty rough girl, haha. But at the core of it all, there was the fear of the corruption, right? Deep down, you were scared by the thought you'd go insane eventually, or were just desperate. You know everything, don't you? Sorry, I didn't mean to seem like you know it all. It's fine, I'm glad to have someone who at least tries to understand me. Chiemi giggled. She could laugh at it now, but probably only because she'd grown up and realized a few things. Did you look into a lot when you left for college? Like, about the dogs and stuff? Well, yeah. Should you really still be afraid of them? I'm scared of God and his corruption. The science behind the disease doesn't change much. Yeah, then let's talk about that. In one of the timelines I was in, I met God. Huh? I'm pretty sure I know what kind of thing God is. But I feel like it's a bit different from the image of God you gave me. Chiemi, can you see God as in visually? Everyone has met God, maybe they just can't see it. You think it's insane, right? The looping and God itself are already pretty insane, to be honest. I'm ready to accept anything at this point. How flexible? Are you an octopus? Why did everyone like comparing me to weird stuff so much? Yeah, I can see it. Is it different than the 3 you see when you get the blessing of the wolf? God is on everyone. Even little girls like Mako? It's not really clear on her. It seems big, though, whatever it is. I was told that there are 3 gods in Yasumitsu. Huh? Who told you that? That's a secret. The only Yasumitsu gods I know are Shinai-sama and God. Shinai-san is a god, no? Shinai-san is a god, but not the god I have in mind. The god on Haru-chan is the one you're thinking of, right? Yeah. Okay, I think I get it. Really, tell me more. Not right now. Hey, don't be like that. No. At this point, I was now able to split up and think about the problems I was involved with right now individually. One problem was the prevention of the Feast of the Omi Purge. Another problem was the prevention of the giant monster's resurrection. And the third problem was the ending of the loop. They were all related, but they all needed different solutions. Okay. And to fix the first one, the feast, I'd have to use the looping to do something about God. Specifically, the god that Chiemi, or that had Chiemi, as well as everyone else in Yasumitsu, completely imprisoned. Weak, powerless god my ass. This one was a pain to deal with because they were powerless. I had to be careful about how I dealt with it. As well as Chiemi, God's prisoner. I'll keep it a secret for a while longer. I feel like I'm not fully keeping up, but I think Haruaki has some ideas of what he wants to do. And I'm just along for the ride. Why? Because I know the secrets of power. Rude. We continued exchanging info. I couldn't keep the sheep hidden, so I started with that. When I look back, I always see a sheep, and that's probably the reason why I keep my memories. What about you? I don't remember anything like that. Okay. That meant that the reason she kept her memories were different from mine. Also, her memory retention was less consistent than mine. Some memories actually felt like a dream for her and often lacked clarity. She said that for all she knew, she might have looped a lot more times than she realized. I was curious why she kept her memories, but I set it aside for now. Anyway, according to the sheep, the loops were happening because of the dream. I thought over in my own way the things it had quickly shared with me. Something had absorbed Fujiyoshi and its general area into a dream. It was absurd, but I had to accept it. An area of some square kilometers had been detached from the real world, meaning that this was like a virtual reality. This space could be restarted, and it probably had a different flow of time. I spent a lot of loops here, but I bet not even a second had passed in reality. This dream could happen over and over without wasting any time. That gave the mastermind behind it countless chances to create the ending they wanted, and once that happened, the dream would stop being a dream. It would become prophetic, basically, or rather stop being reset as just a dream and turn everything that happened into reality. That meant that I could be going about my business still thinking that I could retry it all, when the master of the dream could just yank the rug out from under me and be like, nope. This was as if reality had an intrusive editor who told the author to turn anything he didn't like into a dream. Man, that was messed up. Was that messed up? According to the sheep and Chiemi's info, the range of the dreams had changed. At first, the dream just looped around, but when some outsider came in and started going all weird and shit, made a huge mess of things, and that right there is the result. The dream changed because of me? Interesting. After that, there was a change. Mako-chan wandered in. Your arrival was the third change since Mako-chan came. The starting point moved about 12 hours, too. I had no idea how many loops the sheep had been through since starting, but it did mention that things didn't change much at the start. That meant that the result was the same no matter how much the dream repeated, far from the ending the dream's architect desired. That was when they brought in the first outsider, probably Chiemi. The method was most likely moving the dream start sometime further. When Chiemi had returned to Fujiyoshi, she had already entered the dream, unwittingly becoming trapped in the loop. Because the start of the loop, the starting point, was pushed a bit later, Chiemi became a character in the dream. Chiemi was the first one who had memories of the previous loops, and with her joining, the dream began to change. However, those changes didn't satisfy the mastermind, especially with Chiemi not really doing anything constructive. Thus, they moved the start a bit later again, this time taking in Mako, who, from what it seemed, didn't have memories of the previous loops. It wasn't hard to guess that nothing was changed by her joining. The third one to enter was me, and I, unaware of the mastermind's plot, tried out various things and ended up fulfilling their wishes. The Chief said that the mastermind still didn't know about its involvement. However, they must have known that Chiemi and I often did unexpected things, though I wasn't sure if they were aware that we had our memories. They either didn't know about it or just didn't know the cause. So I guess we shouldn't reveal that we remember stuff, huh? Yeah, especially around the people of Yasumizu. Huh, what? You're saying that one of them is the mastermind? That's likely, at the very least. I'm pretty sure the Miguruma have nothing to do with the looping. Oh. So, alright, so the reason we have the dream has to be one of the, like, it could be like the old man. It could be Chikamochi. I feel like those two are probably the most eccentric ones that could have more secrets up their sleeves. I would lean more towards the old man, but who knows? Why? Because their goal is different than Great Lord Shinai's. But who can it be? Who's hiding another god? Is it possible for a person to hide their god from your sight? I can't really see the gods of the people I don't know. I see. Basically, her ability was like an eye for reading people. Even though you couldn't know for sure based on just faces, some people could intuitively figure out certain things about others by just finding out more about them. In her case, such info was just more visual. It might have been a kind of synesthesia. There were people in the world who perceived numbers as colors. With that in mind, I shouldn't have expected her supernatural power to be the solution to the supernatural problem. Instead, I should rely on her ability to retain memories. What do we do now? I'd like to see more endings so I can help set some conditions. The only outcomes I know are the ones where wolves achieve a flawless victory, the one where humans achieve a normal victory, and one where wolves achieve a Pyrrhic victory? I've never seen that word in my life. Pyrrhic victory ended up summoning the monster, so that's no good. But I don't actually know the exact cause of the summoning. Was it related to the feast? Or did I step on some other landmine? I have no idea. That's why I think we have to try challenging the feast a whole bunch more times. Seriously? Yeah. What about running off into the forest and having a good time there? We'll die, right? There might be a way out somewhere. Oh, that's true. Then let's search for one. Honestly, I didn't think that it would get us any closer to the truth, but I didn't put much effort into protesting either. She'd been in so many feasts that it became traumatic for her. She wanted to avoid going through it again. She didn't want to be more aware of what kind of murderer she was becoming. Alright, I'll do this with her until she was satisfied. Even if this was a challenge without a real end, it was worth it as long as she could find peace. I wonder if this is the game's way of just trying to get us to die so that way we can loop to something else. Because going through this whole loop again doesn't make any sense. Because, like, if you look at the chart, we're right here in Dense Mist. It's like we're on over here, but, like, there's no... Well, okay, there's this one once we get 3 more keys. But, like, outside of that, there's like, nothing in here for us to do. We don't gain anything from going through this feast again. Because a lot of these are just going to be repeated things, right? So, the game has to find a way for us to loop back without us having to waste days and days throughout an entire another feast, or there needs to be a reason for the feast to change, or for there to be new info revealed during this feast. If that makes sense. Alright, so we try using our memories to quickly fix the bike and leave. We try going out through Saranaga before the mist came. We waited until the mist came and tried to leave through the forest in full hiking gear. I got from the convenience store. No idea why they were selling that. In the end, we either were engulfed in mist and died before even realizing it, or were engulfed in the mist and died without getting anywhere. In the latter cases, Chiemi either died by breaking apart again, or we were caught by those monsters. After trying it enough times, we both became used to it. "Oh, I'm crumbling again," she'd say. Then let's stop," I'd reply as we aimed our guns at each other and killed one another. Oh my gosh. Taking advantage of shortcuts like that, we came back over and over and over and tried again. Nothing seemed to work, so we tried spending a night outside after the mist came. We got rid of the dogs with water and guns. I quickly found out that this was a mistake, since Chiemi couldn't keep her presence of mind. Unable to bear the tension and fear, she would mumble something about God and either run off or kill herself. Then, no matter what happened afterwards, I ended up killed by the monster-looking thing. Oh. I'm surprised that they're going through all this without actually showing anything visually, because there could be some pretty crazy scenes that they show. But I guess the game is also doing its best to not drag everything out to an unreasonable length. Whether the monster was actually real or not wasn't a problem anymore. I'd already known that any rule breakers would be punished. The problem here was that Chiemi still wanted to continue these pointless loops. Let's go there this time. Let's hide here this time. I patiently played along. Being certain that there was no point in this, I played along with her attempts to escape about 50 times. We continued to do this for a while before I told her to let me try something, and somewhat forcefully took the lead. Ooh, okay. What I wanted to try was a feast victory with minimal casualties, and how many days could be passed without murder. For that, we had to figure out what sort of rules govern the Guardian alignments. I actually had an idea for how it worked. Okay, the first time, the time I was a snake. Well, we're going back to the first loop, and if we just repeat the steps of when we didn't join the feast, wouldn't we just know who the, well, okay, we would know who the wolves are, but then Chiemi would have to try and convince everybody, and that's easier said than done. Never mind, I was gonna say, I feel like at this point we could go to a loop where we know the answer, tell the people, and just, like, win, but that's probably not gonna let us survive, and yada yada yada. Alright, never mind. Time I was a snake, the time I was a wolf, and the time Chiemi had first become a wolf. Over them all, I noticed that there were trends such as Chiemi's tendency to become a wolf, or Moshi's tendency to be a monkey. To find out the nature of these trends, I wrote down the Guardian distributions I knew on a table. First I tried putting the names in order, then writing down the Guardians, but didn't find any patterns there. Then I had the idea to try basing it on their dwelling locations, and bingo! Oh, the monkey was obviously dependent on where the people lived, and they didn't change much across loops. It was clear that Takumi-san tended to get the snake, and I'd gotten it instead of him that time because our houses were close together. Same could be said about Kaori-san and Yoshitsugu getting the crow. Basically, the Guardians were given out to the houses rather than people. Oh! I was familiar of a way of allocating data that changed slightly, but not by a lot. So when we were in the prefab, we became a wolf. So in that previous loop, where Hashimoto-san was supposed to be staying in the prefab, does that mean that he would have become a wolf? If he just didn't leave? Because that's wild. That would have been terrifying to try and deal with. He was already hard enough to deal with as a human when we were a wolf. Imagine the other way around. I know what it means to bring about such results. A ghost leg lottery. It wasn't a completely random method. Even if you used tons of lines, the results wouldn't split up properly without intent. And even if there were new possible options, the results wouldn't change without removing or adding new lines. Even if you added 2 or 3 new options to a ghost leg lottery, you would add them to the right and add a few branches, and that would leave the left side mostly unaffected. 2 or 3 lines would just shift the result a bit to the side, but not much further than that. That had to be it, right? As in, someone held a ghost leg lottery to decide who got which guardian? Interesting. That theory in mind, I sought out a particular person. Hey, Mochi. Whoa, why do you know my nickname? Ignore that and just look at this. It's a popular puzzle. Can you write down a ghost leg lottery with these results? I want you to make it so that removing this line does this and adding a line here does this. What? I have no idea how to do that. Just whatever feels right to you. Oh, Like this? He actually met the conditions perfectly. How like him? Like hell, a puzzle like this could be popular. His talent for getting the answer right without proof actually scared me. It was a talent that could turn society on its head, but that wasn't important at this moment. To see whether the ghost leg lottery was usable, I attacked the Nosato mansion once. Specifically, I broke the windows the day before the mist came, and he was so scared that he just returned to Fujiyoshi next morning. My theory was that the lottery began with the settlement's upper region. That was why adding new people to the empty houses affected the guardian assignments, while Kinosuke continued to be human. Thus, without him, the roles would have to change drastically. Interesting. With those conditions, I tried a case in which Mamiya-san and Hashimoto-san both died, while I took the Gen-san's dude's place. I ended up being the snake, while Chiemi was the badger. The wolves ended up being Yoshitsugu and Mochi. The ghost leg lottery is completely accurate. Alright, I do think that this game is actually going at like a breakneck speed now. I think it's probably the game's benefit, because we don't need to like sit through loops, we know how it works. But it's so interesting that they're just describing like loops and be like, oh, in this loop this happened, oh, in this loop this happened. It's just an interesting choice. I don't hate it, because I think if they went through like a full loop for every single one of these, I mean, this game would be like 100 hours long. But it is also wild that it just decides like, oh hey, now that you've seen like the monster, we're just gonna like exposition dump everything, and you just get to enjoy the wild ride, which I'm here for. I also tried looking into how the distribution worked before Mako came, and apparently there was a human missing in the middle. That confirmed that the Guardians weren't handed out by a supernatural force, but through this ghost leg lottery. I've never heard this term of ghost leg lottery, by the way. I have no idea like what it means and like how it works. So I'm just kind of letting Haruaki take the reins on that one. Using this, I could also create lots of patterns. By changing my residence, I could get whatever Guardian I wanted. A good one would allow me to get through it without any problem. At that moment, I excitedly told Chiemi that the feast was as good as ours. I'd never forget the dead eye she looked at me with. Uh-oh. So, when will it end? I finally realized that I had made a huge oversight. Chiemi had passed her limit long ago, and I'd forgotten that my sense for such things was a bit different than a normal person's. I wanted to clear the feast with a minimal number of deaths and find out how many days could go by without a murder. It required the agreement of all the participants. It wasn't something I could do by myself, and I needed Chiemi to try with me. I didn't mind looping about 100 times more. She, however, didn't want to loop ever again. She tried weird things before, because she wanted to try a method that could let her win quickly and easily, even if it was absurd. In her eyes, my plan to loop hundreds upon hundreds of times in a case of trial and error was simply unacceptable. I was killed. She wanted to kill me, and so she shot me right up front. Haruki-san, what if the winning move is to kill you 100 times? Oh, gosh. I realized that I'd never considered what a threat Chiemi with memories could be. I was killed over and over again. Over and over. Sometimes she killed me right upon seeing me in the darkness of Saranaga or the dining hall. Oh my gosh. Aha, this is so damn fun. Your expression is so new to me. Love it. She snapped. Sometimes she acted out events like I'd remember them, then grinned and killed me when I was completely defenseless. Did you forget? Too bad. Chiemi-chan Dark Edition is still alive. Oh my gosh. She's crazy. Apparently she didn't remember things until I provoked it somehow. Really? That must have been because the number of loops she spent alone was way lower than the number of loops we'd started sharing memories. Her loop count was probably way over 100. She was a whole lot more damaged than I first thought. Oh, but after she killed me 63 times, it finally got to me. Oh my gosh. I've been attacked in Saranaga about 20 times now. Half of those times she just blasts me with both shotguns at the same time, just like this time. Otherwise, she used traps or feints to corner me, then finish me off. So, she had no idea how to handle a situation in which I survived her first shotgun blasts. No, why? No, what? How do you think I feel about it, getting killed over and over? Honestly, not even I'd expected to find a bulletproof vest in that convenience store. It didn't protect me completely, though. It just kept my torso from being blown to pieces. My ribcage was shattered, and the internal injuries were undoubtedly fatal. Still, I had enough life in me to catch her off guard and fight back. Chiemi-chan, how do you want to die? Oh man. This was so satisfying. What'll I do next time, though? What would she do to me after this? Will this just continue forever? This might have been an actual dead end. Man, you're such a damn pain in the ass. End of the line for me this time. Sorry. She can still breathe? My consciousness faded at about the same moment as I delivered the final attack. The next loop came. I entered Yasumisi through Saranaga and encountered Chiemi just like always. This time was different though, she didn't have any weapons. Chiemi didn't attack me or run, she just vacantly looked at nothing in particular. Nice to meet you, Chiemi Serizawa. I sat down next to her. Nice to meet you, Haruki Fuseishi-san. What a mechanical response. Saying each other's names on a first encounter had become common practice since we started sharing memories of the loops. However, neither of us said anything more this time. It was awkward. It felt like we just had a fight. Well, not like we hadn't. What is it, are you mad? I don't have a reason to be. Yeah, but you are mad. The pain in the ass hurt a bit to hear. Hey, don't get teary on me now, and I fought back only once. There was no love in the way you killed me. Now that's a quote. Well, I didn't mean for there to be any love in it, and I don't know how I'd feel if you told me that your kills did. I know. I know what you mean. I got so carried away. Killing you helped me forget the feeling of isolation. I can kill you countless times and do whatever to you, so I thought you'd forgive me always. And that's just awful. Sorry. Last loop I realized that I really was being a pain in the ass for you, but you only saw this whole thing in terms of your own goal. What? It wasn't our goal to you. I'm just a side character to you, and all that matters to you is whether I'm useful or not. I only said that because I was just a bit pissed, that's all. That's a lie. You lie so much. I finally realized. You scare me, even more than God. Being hurt, killed, or simply glared at by you scares me more than anything. That's how much I love you. You're scary because I love you, and I love you because you're scary. I want to kill you because I love you, and I love you so much I want to kill you. Oh my gosh. I know that's weird, but that's what I realized. I really do love you. But it's a feeling that's not mutual at all. That wouldn't have changed even if I wasn't killing you, right? Stop with the You always say that before telling a lie. You're not going to eat? I have a bunch of allergies. Oh, wow. What do you mean by I already tried it? It's just something random I thought of on the spot. You'd be surprised how convincing mysterious words can be. Interesting, I didn't even realize that. Haruki Fuseishi, a graduate student at Tokyo College. Hey, who are you really? A student? A doctor? A detective? Or just a murderer? I don't know anything anymore. I love you. I want to kill you. You scare me. I want to be close to you, run away from you, become one with you. I want everything you are, but I can tell you don't want that. But I don't know what will happen after that. I figure that maybe just killing you over and over will keep me happy, even if it scared me. I always thought this was hell. But maybe it's actually heaven? I pushed her into the river. What are you doing? What are you doing? Kissing you. I mean the pushing. Well, I just thought, what the hell's, this girl who killed me dozens of times saying? I figured I had to get back at you somehow. Okay, repeat after me. I won't do what people don't want me to do. I won't do what people don't want me to do. Just so you know, I don't like being killed over and over, so find a better way to express your love. I'm sorry. Now, I look back at all that as an expression of love, and I don't hate you. I like how insane you are. Really? I mean, no, I won't let you fool me. If that's true, why have you been calling me just Chiemi after we started sharing memories? You noticed? I did. Because liking someone and dating them are two different things. I do like you, but I'd say our compatibility is the worst. Or maybe too good? If we're together for long, we'll just become more and more insane, even after we get out of here. Well, there are societies where you can get by being a bit weird, but I think that we both should look for someone more normal. And I kind of got close to someone else. Rikaku-san? Yeah, and Haru-chan. When did that happen? After you killed yourself? Oh, well. Basically, you want to choose someone other than me, even though neither of them know about you now? That's not it. It's just that I ended up providing them really awful deaths. After that, I've been left with feelings of guilt and a desire to make at least them happy next time around. And it'd be insincere to choose you while I still feel that way, right? Not as insincere as pushing me down and kissing me. That kiss was payback for all the murders. Then, okay, fine. But really, my lips are enough for that? The taste was great. I remember something. It's about the quiz you gave me. You being a thirsty pervert is a bad answer, you innocent little girl. You dummy. I'll kill you. I won't kill you. Date me already. Be my darling. And become my first. This is it. This is exactly what I wanted. I love this mix of happiness and embarrassment. It sustains me. Then, no. If I do that, you'll find happiness in the sleeping hell and stop wanting to leave it. I don't mind that. Like hell, that's not how you were at the start, right? The looping warps people. Even I was no exception a couple times. Even if you can tough it out, dying hurts, and it's something no one wants. Imagine if this goes on forever and we keep dying over and over, maybe even at each other's hands. I'm not confident I can keep liking you in that scenario. You can't deny that either, can you? As long as the loop continues, we won't expire due to old age and just pile memory upon memory as we go. Imagine if we end up hating each other. This would become a true hell. I don't want that. I really, really don't. What a crybaby. Shut up, psychopath. A murderer just called me a psychopath. Anyway, I try to stay honest from now on. I can't date you while counting on an escape that's not yet in sight. Thus I said it. Is this what it means to be heartbroken? Yeah. No, huh? Nope. Oh. Sorry for killing you so many times. I got my payback. Sorry for killing you last time. It was just one time, but it was really cruel. I was so scared. Sorry. Sorry I've been a pain in the ass. Sorry for not being more considerate. I won't do that again. I do enjoy the attention you give me, though. Really? Really. You should really think about whether you want to kill or date me. You're right. Haha. Ha ha ha. I had so many dreams of murder that I forgot what's what. Haha. I want to forget everything. Let's go to the hanging pond and jump into Saranaga, head first, like this. Why? Maybe the head trauma will help us forget that, what we don't want to remember. I like that. It's like a couple suicide. We really might have been insane. You think? I don't even know what I've been reading for the last, 5 minutes. I'm just like, this is whatever. Or maybe that could be said about everyone who was in love. You can't see the bottom from here. Yeah. Could we really die if we fall? I'm pretty sure we will. What if we fall on a flat part of the cliff, survive and suffer? You got any other ideas, Chiemi-san? Well, maybe we'll fall in the same spot if we hug each other? You hopeless romantic. Haha. Huh? What's wrong? At this inappropriate moment, I realized something. I just had a thought that I should be the one at the bottom and hit the brunt of the impact. Wow, you're gonna protect me? But then I won't hit my head and forget, right? That's not what I mean. It's not? I just figured since I can loop back if I die. That's not right. I mean, I'm the one who's gonna loop back. Exactly. I've been going through this while ignoring one of the main issues here. From my perspective, I obviously don't remember what happens after I die, and I always go back to the start, after just a moment. But now that I think about it, the same is true for you, right? Because you don't have consciousness when we're dead. Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, you told me about things that happened after I died, so I was like, huh? Exactly, we talked about loops in which either of us weren't present, but we still don't know the condition that actually causes the loop to reset. I thought that everything after my death just wouldn't happen. Sorry, wrong person. But yeah, I thought everything after my death just wouldn't happen. Same here, but we proved that's not how it works. Then, when does the world loop back? Oh. It has to be some sort of day, like our starting point, right? What's the longest you survived? The feast back then ended in 4 days, so it was probably 10 days or 2 weeks. Wait, hold on. I feel like I survived way longer than that. My longest is a week, but now that I think about it, it could happen a while after we die, like a year. Yeah, no matter how much time passes after we die, we won't be able to perceive it. Yet, for all we know, the world could be looping after billions of years with the end of the universe. That's not impossible, but I don't think this is quite that ridiculous. We know that someone is behind all this, and that they're creating a loop to bring back the monster. That's why it's best to believe the loop happens once they fail to do that. Ah, okay. That's true. That means that if they failed, they would loop back even if we were alive. Oh, wait a minute. So, I wonder, that time when we, were successful, and then we, left the village and came back, did the monster do some of that damage or not? I thought the mountain... No, that can't be right. Because Rikaku was, hanging, Nosato was just kind of... He was alive, but insane. I don't know if that that monster doesn't seem connected to that. But if the monster wasn't summoned then, why was the loop still going on? That one doesn't quite make sense to me. But, I don't know, maybe I'm not thinking about it properly. You ever had that happen? You didn't know if you were dead or not, but for some reason you looped back? I did. When Kaori-san went out of control and happened to survive, I left by bus and... Same here. It happened when I tried to move to Fujiyoshi and the officer chased me out. How the same happened to me when we tried to escape by bike recently. I forgot about that. I mean, of course, it could be that we just crashed in the mist, but the memories aren't clear. And it's weird that we don't remember. Just this one thing. There must be another trigger to activate a loop. Yes. This is a dream, right? Whose is it? The sheep had told me that the opponent was a dream wielder. The culprit tries to make their plot come to fruition in the dream. And if they fail or die, they restart the dream? That's a clue. Can we get out? I'm trying to think. I was like, has there anybody that's like consistently like made it to the end of a loop? I don't remember if Mako's died. Haru has. Maybe it's not connected to like if one person like dies in this loop. Because I think. What about Chikamochi? Doesn't Chikamochi like? No. He died in the very like first or like second loop when him and the old man died, and then the loop went on for a couple more days. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's see. Can we get out? It won't be that easy, huh? I fell silent, and after looking at the void before me, what do you want to do? Keep trying? Yeah, but I do want to try falling here at least once. You masochist. Heh. The memories of all the murders I committed are heavy, and I don't want to keep repeating this. Even if I can't forget it all, I need a bit of change of pace. Crushing your skull for a change of pace, huh? What if you lose some important memories? I'm sure it'll be fine. The Haruaki-san and Chiemi I know can find out things like your sudden realization just fine. What if we forget that we know each other? That'd be good, actually. It'd be a chance for me to make a fresh start with you. This little masochist is pretty hung up on the idea of taking a dive in your embrace here. This might be my last chance for that. After all, I rejected her. Having a taste of the sentimentality behind a couple's suicide is actually surviving. And actually surviving is pretty insincere, but pretty juicy, huh? I really like how your mind works in these situations. Really? You like it? I do. Do you love it from the bottom of your heart? Right before I was about to talk, my mouth was closed shut. Her lips cut my word short. Not bad. Get a grip, Haruaki-san. If we're gonna forget this, at least spoil me a bit. There was no guarantee we'd forget it. Oh well. I love you, Chiemi. I love you too much. Man, that sounds like a lie. Sorry, I seem like a swindler. Ah, you really do. But I love you too, Haruaki-san. Then, yeah. With the hope of starting anew, forgetting all the nonsense, pain, hatred, and sadness, we innocently smiled at each other. And with shared hope, we jumped off the cliff. Alright. And that is going to get us a key. So now we finally reach the end of this little section of everything. So Distant Light, you can view it in the keys list. Yeah, we'll look at the key right now. So that's this one. Just like me, Chiemi also loops back in time whenever she dies, retaining her memories. Her heart has been wounded and twisted through her maddening cycles of death and rebirth, but she hasn't completely broken yet. She made me realize that the trigger for the loop isn't either of our deaths. In hindsight, there should be times I looped where my cause of death was vague. If I reconsider the conditions, I may yet catch a glimpse of the mastermind. Alright, so this is a key, because we don't know what the cause is. So maybe on the next loop that we go to, we are going to figure out either like what the time or what the trigger is to cause the loop to reset. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm trying to think. I was trying to think of other people. Like, has Uematsu like properly died ever? Because like there was one time where she was taken in by the corruption, but like she was still a monster that was like kind of around. Like maybe that's enough to keep the dream going. No, when we were a wolf, didn't she make it to the last day? Yeah, I think she did. And then yeah, she went off, and then yeah, Uematsu, I think, checks all the boxes. I don't remember the very first loop though, when we weren't even a part of it. But I wonder if something's connected to her. I don't know. Who knows? The game's going to give us some information. So that is going to be... This should just be like an ending, right? Oh, this is bad ending number 3. Watch hint corner, yes. We're going to let it give me the hint, and then we'll end off the episode and start the next one on the next time. Yeah, Chief, you key 3, one of the final keys. Let's move on to the summary and hint. Bad ending 3, a bunch happens in Chiemi-chan's mind. Here are the secrets surrounding Chiemi series. I will clear up for the most part. I'm actually really glad. I meant to bring this up earlier, but I'm glad that the game, because we had key 20 and we could have gone somewhere else, but I feel like the game wanted us to know that Chiemi remembered all the loops, because if we went to a different loop first and then came back, it probably would make less sense. They probably want to tell the next part of the story with Haruaki having the knowledge that Chiemi remembers the loops. And without doing it in that order, it probably wouldn't have made as much sense. So I'm glad that the game is kind of guiding me now. Well, Haruki Fusaishi went through a rather harrowing experience, but he's getting an ally, so all good, I guess. By the way, key 3 unlocks. 6, Darkness Q, Select Trap. Okay. You'll have to jump far ahead, but next up is Making Peace with a Stubborn One. Look forward to it. Okay. Oh, that's enough for this time. I know how to do next time. Alright. Well, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and just end it off right here. Only next time, I guess we're gonna do what the sheep told us to do. Even though I'm pretty sure there's another loop that only uses key 20, so I'm interested what that is about. But either way, like I said, I'm just gonna follow the game because I don't trust going on my own way and making the story make not as much sense. So that was a lot. Hopefully you all enjoyed that. If so, let me know, but I'll see you all next time. So till then, peace out.